Dave, I am really, really looking forward to this summer because this summer I'm going to take my wife out to a nice dinner at a restaurant. You and I will be back drinking in bars. We'll be doing this thing over beers. I got to get on an airplane and take a nice vacation. All the things I couldn't have done over the last year, I'm going to do because the vaccine will have spread throughout our society. We will be approaching by the end of the summer herd immunity. Things will be opening up. All those people who lost those jobs in those service industries will start to come back to work. It'll be wonderful, but we got 4 or 5 months of dreariness.
It will be. I think you're right, and I hope you're right. I would caution, though, it's not going to be, kind of flip the switch and we'll have all those jobs back that disappeared during the pandemic. I think by around July, we will start to get those jobs back. It will take a while for the airlines, the hotels, and the restaurants to get back to what they once were, and there's been some more long-term damage done to those industries. So it won't be like pre-pandemic days, but it will be a lot better than it is now.
Yeah, one thing that gives me confidence here is the personal savings rate. Before the pandemic, Americans were saving 6-7% of their income. When the lockdowns hit last fall, it went up to about 33% of the income, their income that they were saving. But still, by this fall, they were still saving 13% of their income. People have set aside some money. There's pent up demand, and there's money to spend, and that I think portends a fairly rapid recovery starting this summer. What do you think?
I think you're right. I think first half of the year we'll see slow, gradual recovery. Things like St. Louis County are going to be able to dine indoors again. That will help if that lasts. If we don't have another lockdown later on,
and if customers have the courage to do it.
Right. Which is hard to predict what will happen with the virus in the short term. But I do think by summer restrictions will be easing. People will feel more comfortable about going out, the theater, the ballpark, the restaurants, and so on.
And the economy will begin to pick up. And of course, the stock market has anticipated this already.
The stock market believes that scenario. It's already pricing in a pretty strong comeback and a pretty strong earnings growth for 2021.
Well, stocks are up, 18% this year in the midst of a pandemic and a recession? The prices are insane of stocks. They're selling at 37 times trailing earnings, 24 times projected earnings for next year. This is nuts. I'm not going to invest at this level. What do you think?
Well, I think there could be an upside surprise in earnings. I think those earnings estimates that you're using could be conservative if the economy really does come back strong, like we're talking about. There is basically no alternative. The Federal Reserve has told us that it's going to keep interest rates rock bottom for a couple of years at least. So you've got bonds, the 10-year Treasury bond yielding less than 1%. If you want to put your money in the bank, in a CD or money market, you're going to get next to nothing. You're certainly going to lose ground to inflation. Where else are you going to put your money? And if the economic outlook is good, why not be in stocks? That's what investors are saying.
So the Fed has made investors who want in return crawl out on that limb of risk further, and they've inflated asset prices. I don't trust them at this level. I'm not investing.
Well, they are pricey by historical measures, but again, we've never, other than after the 2008 recession, we've never had interest rates at zero for an extended period. So
with the Fed promising to keep them at zero, even when inflation starts going up, which it might at the end of this year, when you get more demand coming into the economy before supply can keep up? I wouldn't doubt that we have a little bit of inflation by the end of the year.
It might, and the Fed says it will tolerate more inflation. That was, one of the things it did this year to try to convince markets that it's serious about reflating this economy.
I wonder, it's time to think about the long-term changes this pandemic may have made in the economy. You're working from home. I'm working from home, and we've proved that we can put out a newspaper working from home. So will the boss call us back to the office when this is over? Or will he say that I don't need that much office space? I'm going to save some money. And the office rental market goes down the tubes. I don't know.
Yeah, I think a lot of companies will say, as their leases come up, will say we don't need this much office space. Let's have some shared space where people could come in and work when they think it's more productive to be in the office, when they have to work with a team, or they need to have meetings. Yeah. I do think in-person meetings are more productive than Zoom meetings. So I think more companies will move to a hybrid model, but they'll realize that when it's just me slaving away at my desk, that person is just as productive from home as in the office, maybe more productive. I think bosses have been pleasantly surprised. So long-term depressing effect on office rents, I think. Yeah.
So that's bad news for downtown, which has had a comeback over the last 30 years, perhaps. Maybe other office concentrations, Clayton, I don't know.
Maybe the other long-term change that was underway before the pandemic, and it was really accelerated, was in retail.
Yeah.
A lot of people obviously were shopping online before the pandemic, but a lot of people who hadn't tried it kind of were almost forced into buying online during the pandemic, or just decided to keep themselves safe. They found it very convenient, and they will probably continue doing a lot of their shopping that way. So I think this really accelerated the decline of shopping malls and other retail.
Yeah, I'm an example of that, of course. I'm the typical guy. The weekend before Christmas, I'd be wandering around Macy's trying to find something for my wife and daughters. I went online and bought all that stuff. It was great. Macy's will never see my face again. So, so more shopping malls going down, which of course has an impact on municipal tax revenue and things like that.
Sure.
Retail effects. And I'm wondering if it will make a change in where we live. For instance, if I don't have to commute into the office in downtown, more than once or twice a week, am I more likely to live in, Lake St. Louis, a bigger house?
Well,
you see that?
That's been much discussed during this year, and I've talked to some real estate economists about it. Most of the evidence that I could find says that it really hasn't happened to any great degree, except in the very priciest metro areas like New York and San Francisco. There has been some sort of flight to the suburbs, but in most of the country, including St. Louis, the sort of urban housing has done just as well as suburban housing. There's no clear effect of any accelerated flight to the suburbs.
Another question is, of course, we're going to have still a bad 5 months, 4 or 5 months.
Yeah.
Can we carry, these people who are losing their jobs and barely being able to make the rent, not being able to make the rent, and these restaurants and other businesses that are just hanging on? Can we carry them through until demand comes back?
Well, we just got a relief bill that will help at least for a short while. We got 11 more weeks of expanded unemployment benefits, which had run out in July.
Lifesaver for those people.
That will help a lot. get some more aid to restaurants and small businesses, which may keep some of them afloat, so they can benefit from that. When you're ready to go out to eat again. And I think President-elect Biden has said he expects to push for another bill once he takes office in January. So I hope we can kind of bridge the gap. We're getting close now. We can see the light at the end of the tunnel with these vaccines. So maybe just a little bit more. And I'd say we need targeted stimulus. We don't need the $2,000 checks that President Trump, Senator Hawley, and some others are calling for. That is not the prescription right now.
Yeah, you and I have kept our income. If they sent me $2,000 to go right in the bank, I wouldn't spend it. Would have no economic effect whatsoever.
Right.
But the thing is, that $300 extra that the unemployed people are going to get lasts only 11 weeks. It'll take us to February, I guess. That won't be long enough. The $600, if you give it to people who need it, it will be spent over the next months. We're going to need something else to get us to June and July.
Right. I think we'll probably need to extend that unemployment benefit again. Maybe through the middle of the year would be reasonable. Perhaps a little more targeted aid to the small businesses, and you almost can't spend enough on the healthcare system right now. The big thing is to make sure that that vaccine gets out and gets in people's arms.
There's help in the bill for county and state health departments that will actually, and for the medical system, that will actually be putting this thing into people's arms. And that's going to be a godsend. But what's discouraging is the last rescue package ran out in July, and it took them till December to get this new one. And now we have a change of administration. I just have no confidence in our government going forward to doing what's necessary for the next 6 months.
I don't know. That's hard to predict. I'm not a political analyst. President-elect Biden also talks about a big infrastructure package and a lot of federal spending on more long-term projects, which would help the economy, would buoy demand after we get past this initial surge of pent-up demand. But will that pass a divided Senate? I don't know.
Both the Democratic Party and the Republican Party have favored infrastructure for the last 4 years.
Talking about it.
Still don't have an infrastructure plan. I don't know. Maybe Biden can bring the sides together. We're going to have a closely divided Senate and Congress. Maybe enough moderates in the middle can swing things one way, and I don't know.
The politics, I don't know. The economics, though, should be better in 2021 than they've been in 2020.